So important for victims of accidents to call a lawyer right away. Because lawyers need to do things like interview witnesses while memories are still fresh, collect evidence before it's often destroyed, and to make initial contact with the insurance company so you don't have to worry about it. Why postpone securing legal representation? If an accident is causing you problems, call me, Eddie Farah. I want to hear about it. Farah and Farah, 396-5555. Offices, Jacksonville.
Are you an electrician looking for better pay and benefits? Miller Electric Company has the industry-leading compensation package. Electricians are eligible for a signing bonus up to $1,000. Now, they're partnering with the Jaguars on their new performance facility, the Miller Electric Center. Miller Electric has opportunities for you to work on some of the most exciting projects right here in Jacksonville. Whether you're experienced or not, visit MillerCareers.com, an equal opportunity employer. That's MillerCareers.com.
Waste Management is paying a $5,000 bonus to CDL drivers and heavy truck mechanics for jobs in Jacksonville, Green Cove Springs, Callahan, and St. Augustine. Apply online at wm.com/careers.
Equal opportunity employer.
Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute is the sports medicine leader in Northeast Florida. We're proud to be the official sports medicine provider for your hometown teams, including the Jaguars, Sharks, Axemen, Armada, and the Jumbo Shrimp. We have the most cutting-edge resources for sports medicine care, including active armor casting, Alter-G anti-gravity treadmills, and highly trained physicians and athletic trainers. JOI is truly where the pros go, and so should you.
The roof is on fire, or damaged, or old, and you need it replaced. That's where our friends at Lockhart Roofing come in. Family owned and operated. The Lockharts will work with you and your insurance company lickety-split and make the top of your house look, well, brand new. The Lockharts are a long-time Jacksonville business taking care of Jacksonville people. So if that roof of yours finally needs to be taken care of, call Lockhart Roofing, 904-994-3851. That's 994-3851.
The flagship station of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
If you or someone you know want to make a difference in your community while developing a career, we have an immediate opportunity for you at the Boys and Girls Clubs of Northeast Florida. Starting at $15 an hour, training and a great work environment await you as you help create better futures for the next generation. Share your passion while impacting youth in Clay County. Boys and Girls Clubs are hiring in Orange Park, Green Cove, Middleburg, and Keystone Heights. Apply online at bgcnf.org/clay. Equal opportunity employer.
Get Gators play-by-play on 1010XL. Brought to you by Renewal by Anderson, T-Mobile, and Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000.
Ballou here for Shinatri Chiropractic, the breakdown of the body. Stop fighting it. Visit Shinatri Chiropractic, the official chiropractor of JU Athletics. Back and neck pain, arms, legs giving you problems. Get an effective diagnosis and treatment with an adjustment or dry needling. How about acupuncture, which I love because it works? Get rid of your pain and tension. Call 743-6700 or visit them at 2711 University Boulevard, Shinatri Chiropractic.
I'm Hayes Carline. I'm not a lawyer, but I play one on radio. Listen to my closing argument presented by the personal injury law firm of Harrell & Harrell weekdays on The Frangie Show. It's like Matlock, but meaner and about football.
Hello, Jacksonville. This is Greg McGarity, President and CEO of Gator Bowl Sports. The Tax Slayer Gator Bowl game and events have been a Jacksonville staple for more than 75 years. We support more than 4,200 local youth annually through Gator Bowl charities. Gator Bowl Sports is a perfect way for local companies and individuals to get involved. We'd love to meet with you and talk about how you can join our team. If you'd like to learn more, contact us at 798-1700, 798-1700.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. Let's go into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
before the storm, and after what was completely a stressless weekend around here for yours truly and many others, if you're a Jaguar fan, if you're a Florida State fan, man, it's just been cool, crisp, clean living. Today, Today I sense it. I almost feel like an animal. You know, I mean, I noticed it. It took me about an extra 30 or 40 minutes to get around the golf course today because it was a way too wasted, drunken foursome in front of us. And, you know, I've always been one who says this, and I honestly do believe this. You can't complain about how long it takes to play a round of golf if you're playing public golf, okay? If you're going to bitch, if you're going to throw a fit, join a private country club. And then you can really take it up with the general manager or the pro or whomever. If you go into a local place that is public, you have to expect that it's going to be slow play. Guys and gals are not scratch golfers. They're not guys and gals who shoot in the low 80s. It's going to take a while. So I've never been one who gets upset. Unfortunately, what we find ourselves in an awful lot, and I'm sure a lot of people out there can agree to this, it's others behind you that start driving into you, right? And it's like, bro, we can't go anywhere. Look in front of us, see what's happening. And I'm all about a good time, all about some spirits and a cigar. Obviously, I don't drink on days that I work, but obviously these guys are off work and they got after it today. You would think that in some set of circumstances, golf etiquette would come into play. You know, it's a little bit like this. We're slowing down the entire golf course. Maybe we ought to let this foursome go through. But we also know there's a lot of morons out there, okay? There are a lot of people who are just challenged when it comes to street smarts, common sense, put your blinker on if you're going to turn left, put your blinker on if you're going to turn. So we have to be aware of that as well. Just take a deep breath, crack a joke with your buddies, remind them that the Jags are 2-1, remind them that Florida State is 4-0. Remind them that Florida's 2-2, but also remind them that they really should be 1-3 if it wasn't for the officials, if it wasn't for those referees that gave 6 or 7 calls to the Gators a couple of weeks ago. As South Florida lost 41-3 to Louisville, and South Florida went into the swamp and beat the Gators. It was the officials who saved them 2 Saturday nights ago. It is absolutely amazing. So anyway, I wasn't stressed out today. I played golf. I even saw a beautiful hawk on the fairway today. It was really, really cool. I've noticed, though, since driving into work, I had to make one quick stop. There's a lot of tension out there. There's a lot of aggravation. There's a lot of apprehension. And I understand that. If you're one of those who believes that the hurricane is headed directly to you and wherever you call your home, I really feel for you on that. I don't know what else to say other than there's a tremendous amount of panic that is going on. And, I don't go to stores. I've told you that forever. I get hives if I get anywhere near a store. The GF's out doing all the shopping, and she's like, you can't get water, you can't get toilet paper, you can't get this, you can't get that. And I just, I'm like, okay. We got some canned foods, right? We've got water. I know I got plenty of Miller Lite, right? I can certainly drink that during a hurricane, right? Isn't that allowed to have cocktails at home during a hurricane?
We'll be working during the hurricane, so I hope.
Right. We're going to be here, too. I mean, listen, our plan is here. Now, our Thursday night show has been canceled at Mr. Chubby's Live, but we'll be here in the studio. So we have tonight, late night. We have tomorrow night, 6 to 8. We have Thursday night, 6 to 8. We're going to do Friday night as well this week, 6 to 8. There'll be no high school football. But just do everything that you can. The worrying, and I understand worrying. I come from a, my mother, I love her dearly. She was she made worrying an art. I mean, it was unbelievable.
My father is the exact
Oh,
same.
man. And it's just, I've tried to grow from that. The older that I have, the older that I become and we all become, I really try to tell myself all the time, deal with what you can control. Don't worry about what you cannot control. And I find myself telling me that message all the time. It used to drive me crazy. There was nothing I hated worse in high school and college than a Friday test, because you had to wait the weekend in order to get your grade back the next Monday. And if that teacher was lazy or whatever, you maybe wouldn't get it on Tuesday. You get it on a Monday. You wouldn't get it then. You might get it on a Wednesday or whatever the case is. But, I get it. You become a parent, man. You worry about your kids. You worry about all sorts of different things. But this worrying about the hurricane, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, seriously, leave town, right? Go somewhere where the hurricane is not supposed to hit if it's really bothering you that much. And I'm not trying to be a smartass here. I've never been one who's been deeply affected by this. I just haven't. And, I've seen it hit here, and I've seen it hurt a lot of people here. Heck, as a matter of fact, I think the last time we had the major hurricane, we were boarding the team flight from Houston to come back here, and then we got off the plane and ended up staying in Houston for like 3 days because it was so bad here. And we did our radio shows out on Sports Radio 610. I remember that because that was the same station I used to be on when I worked nights in Chicago. I'm not trying to act as though it's no big deal. We're just going to get some wind and we're just going to get some rain. But I just see a lot of fear in people's eyes, and it's kind of disturbing to me. I don't know if you feel differently.
I don't know if people are scared. I think I'm going to go get gas because I have to get gas. And if the gas station runs out of gas and they don't have power for days, then I don't have gas. I can't get to work. So, yes, I have to go wait in line. I want water, so I have to go wait in line at Publix like everybody else. Like, I'm not going to be the one that is caught with my,
Mm-hmm.
So, no, I wouldn't say I see people scared of the hurricane. Certainly not here. Nobody I know.
All right. I refuse to go political because it's a waste of time, and I'll just offend folks. But
I will right now.
No, I love like how I just love how in life there's such a in between to the really, really wealthy and successful, and then those who are trying to get by and live paycheck to paycheck.
Us.
Yet it doesn't matter what the situation is like. You can scream from either side of that mountain. Why is it that if they could get away with it, that person is going to go into Publix and get himself 18 gallons of water, and you can have a person behind them begging to get 1 or 2, and you and I both know that person, if they can get 18, is going to go straight to the cash register and tab out. Yeah. I mean, how's that for the United States of America and us getting together, as one and helping our neighbor and our brother and our sister? But, and again, I don't go to stores. I was talking to my girlfriend, you're only allowed 2.
Stores.
I don't go to stores. Can you remember the last time I've been to it? It wasn't like a Dick's Sporting Goods or Richard Miller's baseball card shop on Phillips Highway. I don't go near stores. Stores drive me crazy. Okay, I get nervous in stores. I don't like being around
non-hurricane.
Listen, and I buy off the rack. All right, I'll buy off the rack. I'll eat out of a can. I live on the other side of the tracks. I'm all of that, but it's just something about being in malls and stores that really makes my skin begin to crawl. But my GF's like, you're not allowed to take more than 2 gallons of water. They have a limit now.
Which it was like
what
that
a
during
brilliant plan.
COVID too.
Oh, is that when it started?
Yeah, and they kept it for a while, but now I guess they're bringing it back. Yeah.
Yeah.
But they have, when you go into Publix now, they're selling individual bottles of water. So, like, you can stock up on 75-cent bottles of water if you want to. I think most of the time people go overboard with this stuff. But you should get gas and you should get water. That is simple as that. Those two things you should get. Oh, toilet paper.
We were all knuckleheads in college. And I remember at Florida State, they had hurricane parties. It was it was like a big deal.
I'm about to have one this week.
It was like a part, and I do find myself being more concerned for others than what's going on right here. I mean, my mom's in assisted living in Tampa. They're going to get bombed.
Yeah.
My dad's 85 years old at his house in Tampa. My brother and his wife and their family, they're in Tampa. That concerns me a little bit.
In assisted living, it's not like they could just get up and evacuate.
No, they provided a bunch of options. One was like to bring her yesterday into a school and just basically have like a cot in a school with a bunch of people who are like hospice care or whatever. And it just it felt, it just didn't feel right. It felt brutal, but anyway, handle it the way you need to handle it. And I don't even check the weather. I had people tell me. From my understanding is what it's.
I don't either, man.
It's going to be rain and wind, right?
Every day.
I just don't follow
it. I don't care.
Go to Tallahassee. They're going to play the game on Saturday.
I think that's going to change. I think because of travel, they're not going to play that game there. Certainly not on Saturday.
Mm-hmm. I know. Obviously the Gator game has been changed to Sunday.
South Carolina plays tomorrow.
South Carolina will get it going on, which is really did the Gamecocks play last week? If so, that is a very quick turnaround. Let me look at that real quick. I actually don't remember South Carolina being involved in anything.
They played Charlotte though.
Okay,
and they're only playing South Carolina State, so this is one of those. South Carolina State's getting paid, so they want the game. South Carolina wants the game probably to be like bowl eligible. They need this win. So, yeah, might as well move it to Thursday. Everybody's happy. No one really cares about that game. But Wake Florida State's such a massive game. That's not something that you want to move to North Carolina and give them home field advantage, which would be their third straight game in Winston-Salem between Florida State and Wake Forest.
Yep.
But you also don't want to have these guys come down here and travel on like a Friday or Thursday in the middle of a terrible storm.
Well,
I think
sure
it ends
you do.
up getting moved.
Sure you do if it gives Florida State an advantage.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm just saying, like, if you're the ACC,
put them in a pack of buses right now.
Yeah.
Put them in a bunch of bus them over here.
Make them walk.
Okay, I mean, for crying out loud. I mean, if it's going to provide an advantage, I don't know. I just saw it today coming in.
It's a big one, though.
I saw derelicts on the golf course who could care less. I mean, again, these guys were 3 sheets to the wind, and they were posting frosties and 9s on holes, and you literally had 4 foursomes that were backed up, and they could care less. And then I went from that to driving in, and it felt different to me. It was definitely the calm before the storm, and
everybody's probably going to have to be off work the next couple of days because their kids are off school. That's weird. Like, nobody's going to be driving around. We got a guy texting in and says, I've got the gas stove ready with plenty of whiskey and YouTube TV on my phone to watch the games. Everything is going to be okay.
That guy's a star.
The only problem is, once your phone charge is up.
I know.
Like, bro, you got to go to your car charger. You're sitting in your car. Like, oh, God
And that's
bless.
a problem. It is a problem. Losing power is going to be an issue. And, so when's it really supposed to hit?
Honestly, I don't know.
Neither do I.
I think
it's like there's so much information. I don't even pay attention
I was
to this.
told this morning by Mia, who was like keeping track of it, that Thursday through Friday, so like the entire day of Thursday is supposed to be really terrible. And you can listen to us 6 to 8.
Who is the how would you define the overdo it hurricane individual?
I would say probably, I think evacuating in general. Like,
yeah, but I'm talking about a guy or
overdoing
gal
it.
that they ain't going anywhere, but they're just
batten down the
they're
hatches.
going to have you on pins and needles the entire. They're going to have you. I mean, don't doze off in front of them. They're like, hey, listen,
like,
bro,
the generator
a hurricane's
ready.
coming. Okay, what are you going to do about it? If you remove your patio furniture, if you boarded up your windows,
See, everybody should remove their patio furniture.
I got you there. That's fine.
That's a simple thing to do. But I think when you're bringing out, depending on where you live, if you live close to the beach, I mean, do whatever you feel necessary to protect your home. The more inland you get, the less you probably need to board up everything.
No.
And Joe was telling a great story about one time he boarded up his entire house. They were living on the beach. He was super nervous. They left town. He, I guess, left a beer like sitting outside. He came back after the storm. The beer was still sitting in the exact same spot.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of false alarms. And,
every year.
Yeah, and
that's why I'm not too concerned.
Well,
but
you know
still,
what?
I still
I have a real good friend.
Careful.
I'm not going to mention your name. I have a real good friend who had this exact same attitude, and they got hit hard, and it ruined everything, and it totally changed his attitude on this. I hope that's not what I need. I don't know why, but I've always thought of blizzards as so much worse than hurricanes.
Hell yeah. I wouldn't even know what to do. I was talking about that with my girlfriend. She was saying, like, yeah, we have a couple new people at work that are new to the state, and they're like totally freaking out. And I was like, well, I can't really blame them, because if I was living in Boston or something and they told me, hey, a blizzard's coming on Thursday, I would be freaking out too. Yeah. I wouldn't know what the hell to do.
Well, that's the worst I've ever seen. Yeah, the blizzard of 78. And I do talk about it often. My parents just left their house 2 years ago. They've been in Tampa. But we grew up with no air conditioning. Okay? And you crack a window, okay? That's how you deal. That's how we dealt with it in suburban Boston. And it was only really bad at times, maybe in July or August. But for those who've ever been there, spent any time there, the temperature could drop 20 to 30 degrees at night, even in the summer. That's just the way it is. However, losing heat, that's a totally different story. And you can be huddled up in your home, and you can have your your old school down jackets on, and you can put everything, scarves and gloves and hats and all that. Bro, it's still freezing. Yeah. And so maybe that's the reason why I don't take it as seriously as I should, is I thought that was the worst that I would ever see. And I'm not trying to dismiss hurricanes or any of these other events that create total havoc, but man, I just felt bad today. So I could just tell people are freaking out. When it does
hit, though, and you are, on that coastal town or whatever, it ain't a joke. And those tornadoes start ripping up neighborhoods and stuff. That's what you have to worry about. The tornadoes that come with the hurricane. Mm-hmm. That's rough, man. Like the rain we can deal with.
Well, yeah, when the water
we can sort of deal with.
When the water level raises, the flooding is really bad.
And like you were saying with the blizzard, like after a hurricane, it rains for a couple of days, but then you can go outside. It's pretty beautiful. In a blizzard, you can't. It's there for a long time. You're stuck.
Bro, they didn't find...
You can't go anywhere. People are just dying in their homes.
They didn't... Yeah, and most that died in vehicles.
Like trying to stay warm.
Well,
with their heater.
Trying to get home or trying to get whatever, trying to get point A to point B, and they'd be over on the side of the road.
Stuck.
And you can't imagine. Think of a hurricane, but think of it as snow. And freezing temperature. Snow that sticks to the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And before you know it, you've got a foot of snow, then 2 feet of snow, and then the plows are coming. And if they can't see you, if visibility is
more
bad,
snow on top
my
of you.
God. Oh, yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Mother Nature sucks.
It really does.
I think we'll be fine here.
Tsunamis are brutal. Tidal waves. tornadoes. I mean, we all get it. You ever been in a hailstorm before? I got one of those in Chicago.
Not a real bad
Came
one,
out of
no.
absolutely nowhere. They were the size of pool balls,
Like
I'm telling you.
cracking windshields.
Oh, yeah. All right, let's take a break. We are going to talk sports tonight, we hope, or we believe. But, just my 2 cents on it. I hate watching people stress, but maybe being cautious is the way to go, or extra cautious is the way to go. Again, I'm not trying to offend anyone. I'm not. If that's the way that you are and that's the way that it's going to be, that's your plan. Go with it. Anyway, we got a bunch to do. Let's get things cranked up. He's JJ. I'm Rick Ballou. This is Into the Night right here in the home of the Jags.
It was the drive that brought it home.
There is no bigger statement. Go the length of the field and punch it in the end zone.
Listen for the Tire Outlet drive of the game on 1010XL.
That's a great drive right there.
Tire Outlet. Wholesale prices, premium service.
I can walk again. I can cross my legs again. I can wear heels again.
After years of living with chronic joint pain, Andrea Southard is now living a normal life, pain-free, thanks to natural biologic treatments at QC Kinetics.
We tried everything, and my husband had heard the commercial for QC Kinetics on the radio, and he told me to call him and check it out.
That phone call changed Andrea's life. QC Kinetics used powerful natural biologics to treat her aching joints. It's high-tech precision medicine that can restore and repair damaged joint tissue with no surgery and no drugs, providing lasting relief.
I felt like I was in my 20s again. I could tie my own shoes. Really the little things that you don't think about.
Pain in your hips, knees, back, shoulders? Get rid of the pain now. Call QC Kinetics.
904-274-5522. That's 904-274-5522. QC Kinetics. 904-274-5522.
Congratulations to Exit Real Estate Gallery and their continued support of the Jacksonville Jaguars. As a proud partner since 2016, Exit's unwavering commitment to the Jaguars illustrates their commitment to the North Florida community. A trusted local leader in real estate, Exit's footprint spans throughout the region with 7 offices and over 400 realtors to help you with your real estate needs. So whether you're looking to sell, buy, or rent local real estate, an Exit agent is always available to assist.
Okay, 3 more climbers, 7 loggers.
Ted's sustainably sourced logging company is growing a new branch.
What about truck driver contracts?
Which means a new HR manager will be the first hire to fall.
Then we'll need to staff up the warehouse.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Calling all golfers, have I got a deal for you. Monday, October 17th, come out to the prestigious Ponte Vedra Inn & Club's Ocean Course for the Epic Cure Golf Classic, benefiting the #1 agency for feeding Northeast Florida. It's a 1 p.m. shotgun start, 18 holes, followed by dinner buffet and an awards banquet, and it benefits more than 2,000 local families per week. It's Monday, October 17th, fast approaching, so if you could help others less fortunate, go to birdies.com, Epic Cure Golf, or call David San Juan, 233-4077. Did you know that about 80% of new home buyers don't ever shop around for the best mortgage loans? What a huge mistake. Hey, it's Prosser here for my friends at Loan Pronto. Not all mortgages are created equal. People who use Loan Pronto save on average $3,500 just in closing costs. On top of that, they get a better rate, which saves them thousands more every year. Your banker or agent's go-to lender are fine people, but don't assume they're giving you the best deal. Call Loan Pronto for a quick second opinion or go to loanpronto.com. I bet you they cannot get you a better loan, a lower rate, without those annoying closing costs. And when rates drop, Loan Pronto will refinance you for free, no closing costs. Call now to get pre-approved in a matter of minutes. They can even hook you up with a high-performing real estate agent if you don't already have one. Call Loan Pronto, 904-999-1508. That's 904-999-1508, or go to loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval. Not all loans apply.
The guy you don't want to be busy during the game doesn't wear a helmet.
The medical staff coming out.
Listen for the personal injury attorneys Farah and Farah Injury Update on 1010XL.
I might need some Advil after that.
Protecting you and your family since 1979.
Jacksonville.
Attention sports fans, your favorite sportsbook, BetUS.com, is back for our 28th year of NFL action with the industry's biggest sign-up bonus of up to 200%. BetUS offers members the chance to cash in on all your favorite leagues, including the NFL, NBA, MLB, and more. Hundreds of new casino games for you as well, including the coolest European slots and live dealers waiting for you at the table. Sign up at BetUS.com. BetUS.com. Use the promo code 1010XL. BetUS, where the game begins.
Northeast Florida Safety Council has been keeping Jacksonville safe for 80 years. I'm Dominic Whitley, EHS Director. Whether your organization is large or small, we're a nonprofit that provides the safety services you need to take the worry out of compliance. Benefits of membership include free phone consultation and safety walkthrough, free or discounted online and instructor-led training courses, new hire and vendor orientation services, and much more. For more on becoming a member, visit nefsc.org.
Men suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, regardless of age or past medical history, you'll see instant results on your first visit at Prime Men's Medical Center. And for unlimited time, your consultation and first treatment are totally free. Call now 904-664-8217.
Stop wasting time waiting for tires at a tire store. Try Go Mobile Tires. We're a mobile tire business that comes to where you live, work, or play. Check us out on the web at gomotires.com or call us at 904-907-0999.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Neil will get you through it.
Once I thought I saw you in a crowded easy bar, dancing on the light from star to star.
Oh, yeah, just kind of groove along with Crazy Horse and Neil Young. Of course, this is more about a relationship that fell apart, not Mother Nature. But it's still titled... You are like a hurricane. There's calm in your eye, and I'm getting blown away. Here we go. Sing it along with us.
You are like a hurricane. There's calm in your eye, and I'm getting blown away. Somewhere safer where the feeling stays. I want to love you, but I'm getting blown away.
Oh, it's so deep. It just hits. I want to love you, but I'm getting blown away. Good stuff.
Catch that anywhere except Spotify.
Is that the only...
he took all his music off Spotify.
Wasn't he in a fight with Joe Rogan or something?
Yeah.
Everyone's fighting everyone.
Yeah.
I mean, people are just throwing hands about...
The dumbest stuff.
I don't even get into the Alec Baldwin situation, but how can he be getting charged for this?
3 other people as well. That's what I heard. So, like, maybe it was him and then, like, the person who I guess put the bullet in the gun and...
Now, he fired the gun, and he thought it was a gun that...
A prop gun.
A prop gun, but
allegedly.
I think he lied to the investigators and said he didn't actually press the trigger.
He didn't pull the trigger, he said. So I cannot wait till that stuff comes out. I hate Alec Baldwin. So, like me, I
always
no
liked
tears shed for this guy.
His attack on Trump, I thought, was pretty good. I enjoyed it.
And what about his attack on his own daughter? Have you heard that?
You ever seen Outside? Yeah. You ever seen Outside Providence?
No.
It's
never even heard of it.
Did you see Animal Kingdom?
The show.
It just wrapped up.
My girlfriend loves that show.
It was good. The star of the show, Pope. He's the young kid in Outside Providence. Alec Baldwin's
Sean Hattasey?
Yeah. And he's got a great northern accent in that, and he refers to his kid by a certain
Drugs Delaney
2-syllable word, and and I'm not going to say it here on air, but the way that he does it is really good. But am I wrong to say that no matter what happens now, we can't wait to blame someone else? I mean, is there anything such as
sports?
Is there anything such as a mistake anymore? Do people make mistakes, or is it automatically, no, we got to blame this guy? Week 1, Trevor Lawrence is a bust. He's not a generational guy. Week 1, Devin Lloyd was a reach. They never should have grabbed an off-the-ball linebacker late in the first round. Week 1, Josh Allen is not worth the money. He's not a difference maker. He's never going to be a double. I mean, just look at the reaction around here in week 1 and how that's changed in week 2, week 3. Look at me on Norvell. Look at me on Florida State. Just whenever anything comes, this team is that. And by the way, they're 4-0, and it's great, and it's incredible, but they're still as lucky as you could ever be to escape that game at LSU. That was bananas. That was like what Florida did to Tennessee late on Saturday afternoon. I mean, those things can't happen. Florida State needs to learn how to rip the jugular right out of the neck. Okay, just go freaking Jeffrey Dahmer on them. And the same thing with Tennessee. They had that same. Can you imagine if Florida came back and won that game? What those folks in Tennessee would be doing right now?
They wouldn't make it. I think they'd probably hop off.
JJ, I want to tell you something. I want to tell you, if LSU wins that game, you would have heard the end of Mike Norvell. They didn't. And that's what's great about fandom and everything else, is that we are so conditioned that if it doesn't go that way, you can just say, well, we blocked the PAT, we won, shut up, Ballou, they're 4-0, everything's great. But that's not how I always look at things. I got to have the entire picture in front of me. It's no one's Tom Brady's not playing well. Oh, it's Gisele's fault, right? Everything comes with a blame. Everything is let's fight someone else. It's never just, that was a mistake. We were wrong. Jaguar fans, I feel for you, and I have for forever. I'll never forget when they signed Nick Foles, all right? And you gave him all this money, and as we met with Dave Caldwell and Tom Coughlin, it was one of the only times ever in a media scrum, not a press setting where a podium was set up or a table was set up and microphones were set up and there were expected, questions and answers. This situation with Coughlin and Caldwell was actually on the field, surrounded by members of the media in a scrum. And Coughlin looked at us all and said it wasn't a mistake to give Blake Bortles that contract extension. And it was so huge. I mean, here's Tom Coughlin who gave us since day one how to do things the right way, never cut a corner, never cheat yourself. You're going to cheat your team if you do. And he looked us right in the eyes, and told us it wasn't a mistake to give Bortles the extension. And I don't care if you're a casual Jags fan who goes to 2 games a year, or if you're a Jaguar fan who thinks about this team every single day of your life, you knew it was a mistake.
Was this after he was already gone?
Why is it so hard to say that it was a mistake? It all happened, if memory serves me correct, the release of Bortles, or the trade, I don't even remember what they did with Bortles, what they got in return, and the Nick Foles signing was right around the same time.
Oh, so he wasn't even on the roster. I would understand if they were like,
no.
He's still our quarterback.
Oh, if he was on the roster, yeah.
But
of course.
They can't even admit it after
the
fact.
It was such a huge story. It was like, don't insult your fans.
Mm-hmm.
Your fans are a lot smarter than you think that they are. We're all human. We all make mistakes. I'm 0-3 on my Jaguar picks this year. I thought they'd win in D.C. Okay? I had them losing here to Indy. I had them losing in Los Angeles. I'm not going to run from it. I made a mistake. I was wrong.
You know that you make mistakes picking games so much that we do a bit on the show where we bet against your pick.
Well, that's against the spread.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, maybe it's a weird example that I'm trying to give you, but it seems like no matter where we are, it's not too often that you just hear someone say, nope, that was on me.
My bad.
That was my fault. I made him. Outside of Doug
Except
Marrone.
Trevor.
Except for
yeah.
Doug Marrone. Everything was Doug Marrone's fault. Hey,
Oh,
Doug,
my-
there's a hurricane coming tomorrow. That's on me.
I'm the coach.
We got to do a better job, you know?
Well, look at the tape.
And that also has the reverse effect. With Doug Marrone, it was very believable for a long period of time. But when you start having guys getting arrested in London and, you have continuous false starts and you have guys jumping off sides and guys dropping passes, you can't always pin that on the head coach. Anyway, look at all these responses we're getting. 34-14 Ballou. I lived in Michigan during the blizzard of 78. We had to climb out of the second-story windows to get out. Our parents' cars were 10 feet under snow.
Oh, was that feet? I assume that was inches. That's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. 10 inches ain't
nothing.
Your car ain't under snow in 10 inches.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Damn, they had to climb out of the second-story window.
Yeah. The Yankees treat snow like Florida treats hurricanes, buy all the water and toilet paper and food for a month for something that lasts 36 hours.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, buy enough to where it's, for a week. You don't need to go in there acting like you're going to go without power for 4 months. This guy posted, you see this picture of the car under the snow in Buffalo, 77?
No.
Whoa.
I got to look for it.
Yeah, he's the 599.
7169 says blizzards only affect city folk.
Yeah.
Actually, being in the city, at least you're around other people and you're around whatever. Easier to get help. You get out into the burbs. You don't have to go too far to Boston where all of a sudden you're in the hills, you're in the mountains. And, can you imagine being out in Maine or Vermont or New Hampshire, some places like that are way, people live there for a reason. They don't want to be around anyone else. And all of a sudden it comes.
Photos of Buffalo in 77 are epic, man. Like, there's a stop sign. The snow is literally up past the stop.
I'm going to look for it. What number is it?
599.
2353 Irma in 2017 St. Thomas, 4 months without power, lost everything.
Wow.
No.
See those islands, man.
Oh, yeah.
I feel for those people down there.
Mm-hmm.
Puerto Rico,
Mm-hmm.
they get it all the time. Puerto Rico just got hit by a hurricane like a week ago. Different one.
No. Here's a guy comparing snow to rain and all this, everything. I love, and I love meteorologists. I do. I love people who just really have a feel for it and can kind of break things down.
Where's Jim Cantori going?
I think he's in Tampa. Yeah. I think it was either Venice or Sarasota or Tampa. He's somewhere over there. Clearwater. I saw him yesterday. I didn't look for him. Somehow it got pulled up on my Twitter feed. It was right there. I'm having a difficult time trying to figure out Twitter. I keep Twitter for only sports. I mean, even a lot of my good friends I don't put on there. It's just a sports source for me. Why is it that I get all these things now that pop up all the time?
Oh, you can't help it. So I have a Jim Cantori sighting as of 6 hours ago, checking into a hotel in Punta Gorda.
Punta Gorda. Right next to Port Charlotte and Venice. Nice little, not too far from Siesta Key. It's beautiful out there. My grandparents, when they lived in New Hampshire, they used to live out in Inglewood, Florida, which is right next to it, right next to Punta Gorda.
There's a great meme. Jim Cantori is like an ex-wife. When he rolls into town, you're probably going to lose everything.
Well, that's the one part of it. Whether it's the local news here or a guy like him, guys, it's really windy out here.
And then there's somebody like walking right behind him, like with a beer in their hand. That's my favorite part. Through like one little, ankle deep water, and he's like all bundled up, and there's two redneck Floridians just enjoying a beer right behind him.
And then others will post photos of there's flooding on the streets, and they'll show bull sharks barreling down the street.
In the street, total. I think that was from last time, complete Photoshop.
Yeah, I know that they did that.
And I think it was from St. Augustine.
Right off of Jacksonville Beach or somewhere.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah. All right, let's take a break here. We are not doing our show Thursday night from Mr. Chubby's in Ponte Vedra. We'll be here in the studio. So we're taking precautions.
We're batting down the hatches.
We are. We're doing what we need to do. The flooding would concern me more than anything.
Well, I live on the third story, so I'm straight on that.
But, like David Trucks, who's Derek's brother, handles all sorts of different responsibilities for the Tedeschi Trucks Band. And when I was over there when they were rehearsing on Sunday and we watched the Jaguars game against the Chargers, we were joking after the game. He said he's going to get some buoys because they got this soundboard that I'm telling you, JJ, it's bigger than this table.
Probably like hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Well, it was actually created in 1974. It was the Kinks' old soundboard. Ray Davies and his brother, and there's some legendary stories that have been told about things that have actually happened way back during the Kinks days.
I'm sure.
on this soundboard, and the list of musicians that have been there, it would just blow you away. But he was talking about, because they live right off of the river, okay, right over towards Joington Creek, not too far away from the Blue Crab House, which I'm happy to say is hopefully going to be up and running again real soon. I'm going to have some information for you. For those of you who don't know, they had a kitchen fire going back now, probably 4 or 5 months ago, when that actually did take place. But David's like, yeah, we're going to put some buoys right underneath it. So if the water comes in front of it,
just float.
Yeah, we can get this bad boy to float right up. So
that's like a priceless. That's something. Obviously, they love the sound and the memories and whatever else comes from it. But yeah, you lose that. That sucks. Man.
I was talking to their tech guy. They said to get the best sound out of it, that bad boy has to be running for about 48 hours.
Like before they even start using it.
Yeah.
It's got to charge up.
I'll go back to where people don't do it around here an awful lot, but back where I'm from in Boston, you want to go out. Like, are you old enough to remember Papa Joe Chevalier? Really one of the legendary voices in the history of sports talk radio. Okay, and I work with him in Chicago. He used to pay either Tony DiGiacomo or Joey DiGiacomo or Dominic Giacchino, one of my 3 producers, $5 a night to run out into the parking lot during his final segment to start his car.
Because
get 10 minutes worth of. You don't worry about that around here. Maybe if so, it's because of the air conditioning. So, I thought it'd be like, no, we want it running for 48 hours until it is totally lit and ready to go. And that's where you get the best sound. It's very old, man. The thing was made in 1974.
Papa Joe was known for Bite Me Wednesday,
in
which he would encourage fans to call in and air grievances.
Papa Joe wouldn't be able to survive today. His opinion on women is not something that would fly.
Radio is completely different in the 90s.
But he used to try to drive around town here. There's trains everywhere. I mean, they're slowing everyone down. Like, Papa, if there weren't all these trains everywhere, man, there'd be 10 million more thousands of cars all over the place. These people are taking public transportation.
That's hilarious.
Best line ever to Papa Joe Chevalier, and I'm trying to remember her name. She was a Playboy bunny or one of those, and her last name was Kozar. And she was incredibly attractive. And we were doing something. We were at a Super Bowl. I don't remember, or a Final Four. I don't remember where we were at. And I always did, it might have been Heather Kozar. And I always did with a guy by the name of Peter Brown. We did March Madness with, and we'd interview all the, it was just phenomenal. Peter Brown, they called him the coach killer. And we were doing it, and then Papa was getting ready to come in to do his show or something, and someone asked Papa, do you know this Playboy bunny here? Do you know Heather Kozar? Because she had been on as a guest. And Peter Brown looks at Papa Joe Chevalier, and he says, Papa Joe doesn't know who Bernie Kozar is. It was one of the greatest things I had ever heard. All right, we got to take a break. We're way overdue.
Because 5 quarters are better than 4. The Window World of Northeast Florida, 5th quarter with Hacker and Leon Searcy. 2 hours after the final whistle on game day. Live from Perfect Rack Billiards in Murray Hill. Brought to you by Eastern Roofing Company and Dr. George Barry and Barry Orthopedics.
This is your Mad Dad's Update with Chapter President Donald Ford. Mad Dad's is gearing up for our 14th annual motorcycle ride on September 24th. The ride is in support of victims that have died in a violent crime. The ride will begin at Harley-Davidson at I-95 in Bay Meadows, zigzag through the city where murders and shootings have occurred. It will end at Edgewood and London. We will go through Arlington to the east side, north side, Paxton, west side, Lackawanna, and end at Edgewood and London. There will be a celebration at the end of the ride for families who have had a loved one die from a violent nature. The ride will begin at 11 a.m. We're asking everyone to stand out and give us a shout out. Hit me on Facebook and tell me what you think. For information about Mad Dad, go to Mad Dad's Jacksonville chapter Facebook or MadDadJacksonville.com.
It's time to celebrate with our best deal of the year. It's the 8th annual Lennar year-end celebration. If you're looking to move into a brand new Lennar home with everything included, the best time is right now with up to $50,000 your way. Use it towards closing costs, price reductions, HOA fees. Use it your way. Single-family homes, townhomes, active adult communities. Whatever you're looking for in a brand new home, find it right now with our best deal of the year. Save up to $50,000 your way right now during the 8th annual Lennar year-end celebration.
Into the Night with Rick Ballou will be live each and every Thursday from Mr. Chubby's Wings. Come join us from 6 to 8 on Thursdays for 2-for-1 pints and pitchers, $3 wines and wells. Mr. Chubby's Wings in Ponte Vedra.
Be confident you're in control of your banking with free digital tools, fewer fees, and a team that's ready to help. Add an account at justbeyourself.com. Community First Credit Union, federally insured by NCUA.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On September 27, 1919, Red Sox slugger Babe Ruth takes his MLB home run record to 29 with a third-inning blast at Washington.
Find your why in your next career move at the First Coast YMCA. Everyone can get involved and make a difference in your community at the Y. And if you'd like to turn your passion into a fulfilling career, the Y is an equal opportunity employer and is now hiring youth program leaders, lifeguards, swim instructors, and more. Plus, Y staff enjoy benefits including free YMCA membership and free childcare while you work. Find your passion, find your why in a career at fcymca.org.
So many people here are getting real lasting joint pain relief from QC Kinetics.
QC Kinetics has changed my life. I would recommend QC to anybody. The work that QC Kinetics did paid off exponentially.
It brought me back to an effective age of almost in my 20s and 30s.
QC Kinetics uses cutting-edge regenerative medicine, natural biologics from your own body, precision treatments that can restore and repair damaged tissue in your aching joints, with no meds, no steroids, no drugs, and no downtime.
I got a very quick resolution to my pain.
It is a all-natural therapy. You're using you to fix you.
I got my life back. I got my smile back. And best of all, I got my laugh back.
Don't live with that pain anymore. And don't let them tell you surgery is your only option. Learn more about regenerative options from the local medical professionals at QC Kinetics. Call now for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 904-274-5522. That's 904-274-5522. 904-274-5522.
Duval, it's time to Q-Vol. Q Barbecue Fest Jacksonville returns to TIAA Bank Field November 19th and 20th with beer, bands, barbecue, and more. Don't miss this chance to grab an ice-cold brew and sample pure smoked bliss from more than 9 award-winning pitmasters cooking up 30,000 pounds of meat. Fun for the whole family with general admission grounds passes and all-you-can-eat VIP pit passes. Parking is free. Tickets and info at qbbqjacksonville.com.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Aaron Judge at the dish.
Riders on the storm.
Facing a pitcher by the name of Z-Pop, otherwise known as Zach Pop. 6'4", 220. A couple of walks tonight so far to Judge. Let me pull it up here. I would look up and try to find one of the screens here, but
It's 1-2 count. He just fouled it off.
we have a hurricane update on our television screen. So, let's see. Gamecast, what you said he's
1-2 count, and he just fouled it off.
All
And guy on second base, 1 out.
2 walks. You know, the 61 home runs is cool, but for me, it's not even close. The Triple Crown is just masterful. And if you look at what he's doing, 314, 60 home runs, 128 RBIs. He's walked away with the ribbies and the homers. It comes down to the average, and he's right there with Xander Bogaerts, the Red Sox. Let's see what he's doing, right? Boston up 8-4 over Baltimore in the 4th inning. Bogaerts 0 for 2 with a ribby. So he's down to 312.
What's Luis Arias at right now?
He's really tailed off.
Oh, has he? Okay.
Last
so
time I
it's a
saw he was
two-horse
like,
race.
yeah, well, the last time I saw he was like 310.
Oh, okay.
That guy was like, he was 330 a month ago. Let me see. Now he's 313 going into tonight.
Okay. Judge is battling, by the way. 2-2
Good.
count. He's fouled off a few pitches.
Guys haven't been pitching to him.
No. And he, to his credit, he hasn't been like chasing Maris, by just swinging at anything.
You can't when you're
still
going
a
for the
great
Triple
hitter.
Crown.
Yeah, true, exactly.
You
That's
can't be
actually a
like
great
Mark
point.
McGwire or Sammy Sosa and hit 270.
That's actually a great point.
You're trying to win. Hitting, if he had 61 or 62 or 64 home runs, that's going to be cool. But I forget how many Sosa hit and how many Bonds hit, and we started having guys who went after 50. Remember Brady Anderson and Louis Gonzalez, and you had all those guys. But you knocked down a Triple Crown. I mean, is the last Triple Crown winner, is it Miggy?
Yeah, but before Miggy, it was Yaz.
Yes, yeah.
So that was 30 years before that. He just took another walk.
I think Yaz hit 301 that year.
Wow, really?
I think so. Yeah.
So the league was just down in hitting worse than it is now. So, yeah, he just got another walk.
Well, that was one of the final years in 67 where they still had the mound
raised.
Yes. Let me see here. Carl Yastrzemski, for crying out loud.
Yeah, so he batted .326 actually that year.
All right, well then,
44 homers and 121.
Yeah, great numbers.
Frank Robinson, though, the year before. Wow, so we didn't have like a Triple Crown winner from 67 to 2012, but from 66 and 67 they had 2. So Frank Robinson the year before won the Triple Crown in the American League, only batting .316, which is like on nowadays-ish average.
And no one limped their way in here. I mean, look at these batting averages.
No.
I don't know why I thought
Hornsby
Yaz might have
401.
actually won a batting title hitting 301.
Not the Triple Crown.
That might have been it. That was the Impossible Dream year, 1967. Before they lost to the late Lou Brock and the late Bob Gibson.
He won his third batting title in 1968, finishing 301 as the only player to reach the 300 mark in the year of the pitcher.
There you go. I knew I was on to something there. Yeah, I mean, you look at the numbers right now in baseball. I am kind of a geek when it comes to this stuff. You have 11 players that are hitting over 300 right now in Major League Baseball.
Wild.
And you have over 130 players who have struck out more than 100 times. It's just unbelievable. I mean, say what you want about Aaron Judge, and he's putting up one of the greatest years that we have ever seen. But Aaron Judge has 900 career strikeouts. He has 743 career hits. There are 2 Hall of Famers who have more strikeouts than hits. Reggie Jackson and Jim Thome. That's it.
And Jim Thome is very recent.
Yes, that's it. I mean, you can go and you can look at the greatest players who have ever played the game. Obviously, they're in the Hall of Fame. You look at how baseball has changed. Just look at the candidates, the guys that you think have a chance to be a Hall of Famer, and compare their hits to strikeouts, and it'll blow you away. It's the way that the game has changed.
All three of the major American sports have changed so much that you wouldn't I would say, actually, out of the three, baseball is the one that's more recognizable to the past than football or basketball. Basketball, you put it on now in the NBA, it's only three-pointers. It's crazy. It's a completely different game.
It's sad.
The NFL, you're only passing the ball. You can't hit guys. Like when you watch highlights from even games in the early 2000s, seems like a completely different game almost. Baseball, it's harder to see, but yeah, a lot of strikeouts and a lot of home runs. Not a lot of balls in play.
I was just talking about the late Papa Joe Chevalier, who I worked with. He's out of Pittsburgh. When you talk to him about the Steelers, it wasn't about Franco Harris, Lynn Swann, John Stallworth, or Terry Bradshaw. It was about the steel curtain defense.
Exactly.
It was about that side of the football. And Jack Lambert and Joan Green and one of the most physical corners of all time, Mel Blount, they could not play in today's game. They would have to totally change their style. And back then, that was the era of phenomenal running backs. You had 5 or 6 really good quarterbacks, but almost every team in a 14-game schedule had running backs that were going over 1,000 yards during a 14-game season.
And getting it 25 times a game, Who was the guy that we were talking about a few weeks ago that played for the Raiders?
Jack Tatum?
Just watching the highlights of that guy.
Oh, he was ferocious. He was ferocious at Ohio State.
Different sport.
That Phil Villapiano, Ted Hendricks, Otis Sistrunk, Matt Millen. I was talking about it I pulled it up on my phone with Susan Tedeschi. She's a lifelong Patriots fan. She's like she's converted to become a Jags fan. But we were in conversation about, I don't know what it was. And I was like, well, do you remember when Matt Millen punched Haywood Sullivan's son right on the field in 1984 in Los Angeles after the Patriots beat him in a playoff game?
The GM?
And she's like, it was the GM's son.
Oh, my God.
Actually, he was the GM. It's the owner's son who was the GM. And there's a still photo of Matt Millen with a right-handed cross to the jaw of the general manager of the New England Patriots.
Oh, I wish this was on video. This is a great photo.
Oh,
holy crap.
It's an iconic photo.
Because his fist is like coming towards the camera as the GM's face is going back. Obviously just got punched. So that was the GM of the other team.
Yeah, but just think about like when Ron Artest went into the stands and everyone saw it. This is 20 years prior to that. And my guess is that out of our listening audience right now, probably less than 5% is aware that this actually happened, that Matt Millen punched the general manager and that all stems back to the bad blood between Tatum and Stingley.
He says this was Matt Millen actually coming in the defense of the equally hulking Howie Long, who is probably coming to the defense of L.A. Raiders owner Al Davis.
Well, you know why? Because Howie Long's from Brookline. He's a driver in Threewood from outside of Boston. He wasn't recruited by any of the Boston schools. He went to Villanova and then ended up being a Hall of Fame football player. But
he loves Al Davis.
And he was right. He thought that Patriot fans were Johnny-come-lately fans. And you know what? They were. I used to go. My dad used to take me with his friends. That old Sullivan, that old Schaefer Stadium, they'd have 30,000 in there on a Sunday when O.J. Simpson and Joe Ferguson and the Bills would come in. When Burt Jones and Lydell Mitchell and the Colts would come in. It was unbelievable. They were far and away the fourth team. It's not even close. And they didn't become really big until, honestly, the Brady era.
Wow, Craig James with a touchdown in that game.
Craig James in the same backfield with, I can't remember. It's a long time ago.
So, what about the Bledsoe era, though?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that was right before the Brady era. They did go to a Super Bowl.
First Super Bowl I ever went to and covered, that was in 96.
So,
Lost to
where
Green Bay.
were they at that time on the list of the 4 big teams in
They were
Boston?
4.
Still?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Where are they now? 2? Behind the Red Sox, maybe? 1?
Celtics are last. Red Sox are... See, I think it's still a Red Sox town. I've always been a Bruins fan guy.
Mm-hmm.
The Bruins have that blue collar fan base, and that's a hockey fan base anyway. You know, hockey fans are wired a little bit differently. You know, a hockey fan will go to like a Sullivan's Tap or the Harp, one of those beers right outside of North Station, and grab a can of beer and pound it. Where you know, some of those Patriot fans need one of those pretty long neck bottles, and you know they need it served with a coaster and all that. You know what I mean? It's a totally different style of fan.
When Bill Russell died a few months ago, they were bringing back a bunch of old Bill Russell stories about how he hated Boston for a while, and he was telling a story about like on one of their, I guess, like 3rd straight title-winning season or whatever in the NBA Finals, and the Boston Garden was like half full.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
Shocking to me.
Maybe correct. I don't remember. That was before my time.
Okay. Yeah.
I watched him in the 70s with Cowens and Havlicek and JoJo White and Charlie Scott and all those players. They were really good. And then obviously the 80s really changed the future of the NBA.
Absolutely.
But you mentioned it earlier. You said how all these sports have changed. It's nauseating to me to watch playoff basketball now and see a team have a 3-on-1.
Yeah.
And instead of taking the 2,
pass the ball out.
They will stop and hoist a 3.
And their coach will applaud that.
That's today's game.
That's good basketball.
All right, we got much more to do with you tonight till 10, then Hacker joins you.
Okay, 3 more climbers, 7 loggers.
Ted's sustainably sourced logging company is growing a new branch.
What about truck driver contracts?
Which means a new HR manager will be the first hire to fall.
Then we'll need to staff up the warehouse.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Here's your 1010XL First Coast Community Calendar.
Sudden cardiac arrest is the leading cause of death on school campuses and for student athletes. Find out how to get free electrocardiogram heart screenings for all Nassau County school students October 18th through the 21st at whoweplayfor.org.
The Hometown for Heroes Home Buyers Program helps you get your down payment and closing costs paid. Call to learn more. 574-7180.
The Amelia Island Charity Golf Tournament and Concert featuring Morgan Evans is Friday, October 21st. It benefits Folds of Honor, and you can sign up at foldsofhonoraigolfevent.org.
The Farm Share Food Giveaway at Greater Church of God by Faith on Old Middleburg Road is Saturday, October 29th from 9 a.m. until all the food is gone. This is a drive-thru only event.
If you're involved in a community event and you'd like us to help spread the word, find out how at 1010XL.com.
Are you getting hit hard with higher costs and higher interest rates? Is your credit card rate going up every month? Hey, it's Prosser here. How'd you like to wipe out those credit cards before the holidays? It's time to call Loan Pronto because your home equity can rescue you right now. Your home value is still way up, and there's a ton of cash that you can get now. Loan Pronto specializes in zero-cost cash-out home refis. You can get tens of thousands in as little as 2 weeks. Pay off all those credit cards, consolidate everything into one super low payment. People who do this usually cut around $800 from their monthly budget. And even if your home mortgage rate goes up a little, it's offset by your current credit card rate going to zero. And when rates come back down, Loan Pronto will refinance you again for free. So don't wait. Call Loan Pronto. Do it now, and you can even skip your next 2 house payments altogether. Call 904-999-1508. Call Loan Pronto at 999-1508. That's 999-1508. Equal housing lender, MLS 1661781, subject to lender approval.
Concrete floors don't have to be ugly and hard to clean. Whether it's a garage with cracks, tire marks, and failed epoxy, or any concrete surface that isn't beautiful and maintenance-free, Shark Coatings will transform it. Our coating and warranty are stronger, more durable, and longer lasting than any other on the market. And because Shark Coatings is 100% UV stable for life, it's perfect for any concrete surface outside as well. Shark Coatings will let you reclaim those wasted hours spent pressure washing your driveway, patios, and walkways. Hit us up on social media or call 904-519-5055 to set up your free estimate today.
Men suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE? Regardless of age or past medical history, you'll see instant results on your first visit at Prime Men's Medical Center. And for unlimited time, your consultation and first treatment are totally free. Call now 904-664-8217.
The flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Josh Scobie here to tell you about Eastern Roofing Company. Are you in the process of selling your home and are being required by home inspectors or an insurance company to replace your roof? The team at Eastern Roofing is here to get the job done. They can get your roof done fast with no money paid until the sale of your home. Don't miss out on a sale because of your problems with your roof. Call Eastern Roofing today at 775-ROOF or visit easternroofing.com. Eastern Roofing Company. Service with integrity.
The drill for lunch, Frangie for breakfast.
What? Are you sure?
Listen to 1010XL talk shows on demand, brought to you by Accelerated Tax Solutions. Search 1010XL in Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or visit 1010XL.com.
Expert Automotive, Jacksonville's only automotive repair shop, where every car we work on gets a lifetime repair warranty. Never pay for service again once it's fixed. Winter travel is around the corner, and now is the time to get your winterization. Do you still have AC issues? Freon prices are falling, and we can save you money. At Expert Automotive, we service all makes and models. Call 374-3373 today to schedule your appointment. Expert Automotive. We never sell greed, only what you need.
Beaches Jewelry and Pawn in Jacks Beach. If you're looking to sell jewelry, guns, gold, or flatware, Chuck at Beaches Jewelry and Pawn will be happy to make you an offer. He's been around the block once or twice and knows the biz inside and out. Beaches Jewelry and Pawn in Jacks Beach.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000.
The storm out, waiting for the thaw out, on a full moon night in the Rocky Mountain winter.
Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
REO Speedwagon is so underrated, in my opinion, because you know what they'll drop on you that almost every band can't? That's an organ solo. Okay?
Not a lot of guys know how to play the organ.
Well, the guys know how to play the organ, but it's not too often that you have an organ solo. It's a guitar solo, right?
Is the organ the same as like a piano? If you know how to play a piano, you know how to play the organ?
You know, I keep going back to what I did on Sunday when I watched the game with Tedeschi Trucks, but and of course, they lost their original organist a couple of years ago. Unfortunately, he passed. But he's got a piano, and he's got about 4 different organs.
Like all right in front of him?
Yeah, I mean...
Like on one of those long layered things?
In front of him, and then to his left and to his right.
Mm-hmm.
And this is in the rehearsal studio. He actually sent me a video of it. I forgot to ask him if I could tweet it out or send it out. I'm not going to do any of that until I get the thumbs up. And they begin Thursday night in the playing at the Beacon right there in New York City. They were supposed to leave tomorrow, but they left a day early because of everything that's going on with with the hurricane. Being stuck in an airport is going to be the top of suck. That is going to be the worst place that you can be. And
there's nowhere to lay down.
Like during COVID, man, everything. Like I remember coming back from Seattle, and I had like a 6-hour layover because last year we didn't travel with the team, so you had to do it, on our own. And I'm like, fine, I'm in Seattle. The game's over. I'll chill. I'll sit at the bar. I'm at the bar for like an hour, and they're like, last call. I'm like, yeah. My flight's not leaving for like another 4.5 hours.
I don't care.
What am I supposed to do? And see, I mean, I can read a book, But I can also read a book and sip on a cocktail, too. What am I going to do for 4.5 hours in a Seattle
was it the
airport?
only bar?
Yeah, everything shut down.
The worst.
Getting back out of COVID was treated so different, and the West Coast was way behind us. I visited L.A., I visited Seattle. What else did I go out there? Arizona, Denver. They were so behind. Now, everyone was smoking dope, okay?
But they had their mask on.
It's all, they removed their masks to smoke dope. But as far as like restaurants and bars and all that stuff, they shut down way, way too early. It's really weird how, different laws, different rules, different parts of the country. Hell, that goes county to county.
Oh, yeah.
Especially out here.
Counties. There's some counties on Sundays you can't get a beer.
Mm-hmm.
Madness.
All right. The Florida game has been moved till Sunday. They'll be taking on Eastern Washington at high noon. Florida State, it was announced tonight that as of tonight, and this is going back probably 3 hours ago, that they believe they're still going to play Wake Forest at 3:30 on Saturday. Obviously, that is subject to change. More and more stories are rolling in. If anything does happen in that particular area as far as breaking news, we will certainly let you know. And that's going to be the case tonight when Hacker joins you in less than an hour, and then all day here tomorrow. And I guess what? Maybe rain tomorrow. May start picking up a little bit. But I guess the days to really look out for here are Thursday and Friday,
Yeah,
right?
tomorrow we should be fine. Just some rain. Thursday, I believe, like the worst it's going to get is that Thursday night into Friday morning-ish time. But all of Thursday is supposed to be pretty crappy.
All right.
This is just me going from what other people have told me, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm
the same with you. And I can handle that. I can try to do whatever needs to be done as far as updating you on the weather or the hurricane. I think we'll be real good about that. Back during 9/11, I was a little put off when my former program director asked me to all of a sudden become a news journalist and talk about the bombing of the World Trade Center with Osama bin Laden and talking about the responsibilities of the United States and I mean, I'm like, hey, bro, I'm like, these people want to hear me talk about the Bears-Packers game coming up on Sunday.
I'm not that guy.
You can't be asking me to come on here and talk about things that are happening. I'm just not qualified.
See, the Saudis,
sure you are.
And, if you would understand.
It was so bad. It was
Sharia law.
so bad. I mean, you just can't ask someone, just because you're in radio, you can't ask them to give give opinions or spit out facts or whatever it may be when you're not qualified for it. It's so wrong. Anyway, it happened 20-something years ago.
And especially when you don't really know everything.
I knew nothing. I knew absolutely nothing.
One of the more entertaining 9/11 radio. See, like, you can go back and listen to a lot of this stuff from that morning, and they have the Howard Stern show from that morning archived on YouTube.
I think I've heard that before.
It's really interesting, just to take you back where you were. I was a kid. I was only 11 or 12, but
see Joe Buck mention Howard Stern last night.
No,
he had.
I barely watched any of that crap, dude.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was because I said to my girlfriend, they're bringing in Jimmy Kimmel now. I go, I'm going to hit mute because I could care less what he says because he's totally sold out. He's totally politics now. I remember him when he was
on the Man Show.
I was going to say, I remember him when he was fat and he was slamming beers and jumping on trampolines with women and all that. Now he's he's so successful, but you know what he is? He's miserable because his side of the politics aren't completely getting their way, and when the other side of his politics does something he doesn't like, it burns his blood.
Late night TV.
Instead of just enjoying what you have.
Late night TV used to be comedy. Now it is all of what you just said. Like him, Jimmy Fallon, Colbert is strictly a politics show.
Never have listened to him, never will.
And it's like, dang, remember when Leno and Letterman existed? There was like barely any of that crap.
Hell yeah, I do.
Now it sucks.
Yeah.
Unwatchable.
And the other little kid there, what's his name? Fallon.
Yeah. He's just not funny.
All he does is he pulls all the attention on himself during the skit because he has that little boy laugh.
He was like that in SNL. He ruined every skit by laughing.
He did. He ruined the cowbell skit. He's on drums. He's on drums when you have, what's his name?
Will Ferrell.
Will Ferrell with the cutoff shirt. And then, oh, God, from The Deer Hunter, Christopher Walken comes in and orders more cowbell. And that little, I mean, and he was great in Fever Pitch. He was good in that. I'll give him that with Drew Barrymore.
The Boston
when he's totally depressed and he's rerunning the Buckner era, the ball that went through Buckner's legs. He's like got a bottle of whiskey or something. That is good. But yeah, you're right. He ruined everything by the fake laugh. Everyone look at me. I can't compose myself.
Yeah.
It was an act.
He's made a career out of it,
Oh,
though.
yeah.
God bless him.
Now, he is talented, man. Have you ever heard him do Neil Young? You ever heard him do
his impressions,
Bruce,
and singing and stuff like
He does all that stuff. Hey,
by the way, texter saying Thursday night 1 a.m. through Friday is like the worst of it.
Okay. I got ripped pretty bad by some of our listeners, by some of the diehard followers that I have on Twitter. When a month ago I said, get ready for Deion Sanders to Georgia Tech talk. You see what's all over the news today in college football, particularly with Dennis Dodd,
I've
CBS
seen a
Sports?
lot of headlines, and I've seen a lot of pictures of a certain former cornerback being rumored to an Atlanta college.
I find it interesting that, people are always going to disagree, and I get that. But why would you think I'd make stuff up if in this January, this will be my 30th year? I don't need to make something up or, earn my bones by all of a sudden being the guy in front of a story. I was sourced. I went with it because I was told that it was going to happen from an impeccable individual. Now, I'll say the same thing now that I said then. Deion Sanders would be a fool to take that job.
You think?
I know he's loved in Atlanta. Okay, played for the Falcons. He played for the Braves. It is so hard to get players into Georgia Tech. It's like Stanford. It's like Notre Dame. Notre Dame's even more lenient. So he's dealing with incredible academic issues. It also hasn't been a winning program really since 91. Paul Johnson had a couple of decent years. They're way down the measuring stick when it comes to Georgia and professional teams. And on top of all that, I think Deion Sanders, with his son right now at Jackson State, he needs to hold out for a true blue blood job. And I think one is coming to Deion Sanders. Could happen this year. We hear Urban Meyer in Nebraska. I can't think of a place that doesn't match more than Deion Sanders in Nebraska.
Oh, my God.
There's no match there.
That's not happening.
Okay, I've heard.
But don't you think Georgia Tech is like a stepping stone to one of those blue bloods? Like,
I don't think he needs a stepping stone. I think he goes straight to the blue blood.
School, though, would take a chance of. It is risky to hire a guy like Deion to be the coach of, like, Texas. Let's say that Texas is looking for a new guy after a year. I don't see them hiring him yet. I think that these places would still need to see him at that Georgia Tech level. Like, FCS that's just a whole different world. That's a whole different ball game. Just because you're great in the FCS doesn't really translate to me. You don't see that guy make that jump very often.
I could see him go to Michigan if Harbaugh leaves.
Damn, that's a humongous job.
You know what? Auburn comes to mind, but we're so aware of the behind-the-scenes filth at Auburn. And you got to run through a bunch of old, crusty dudes with very deep pockets. And I, again, have been told that Dion and that crowd is not going to be a mix. Because Auburn is one that comes to mind to me.
Yeah, that smells like Urban to me.
See, I think Urban goes to UCLA.
Okay. Well,
Now,
they're winning, though.
I know.
That's the problem.
But they haven't really played anyone yet. They're 4-0. Let's look at them. And if people around here could tell me that Florida State hasn't played anyone and I got to deal with all that, I will be the first to come out here and say that UCLA hasn't played much.
I mean,
look
you
up
guys
their
have played
conference.
LSU, for God's
Oh, I'm
sake.
just listening. Listen, they're sheep to me. They're not wolves. They're sheep.
All right, so we got South Alabama. They won by 1 point week 1.
I mean, there you go.
They
won by
played
what?
1 point against South Alabama.
Yeah, this is why they're on them.
They beat Alabama State 45-7. They beat Bowling Green 45-13. And then last week, they beat Colorado pretty decisively, 45-17.
With former UCLA coach Jim Dorrell, who's on the hot seat right now for the Buffaloes.
Friday night, 10:30.
Let's
Washington.
Let's
That's a game.
renew this conversation
Next week.
Here we are, the end of September. Let's bring this up at the end of October.
Okay.
And see what happens after they play host to 15th ranked Washington, then play host to 12th ranked Utah, and then travel to 13th ranked Oregon.
Yeah, that's
I think we'll have a much better understanding as to what's going on with Chip Kelly.
the complete opposite of their first
in
three.
UCLA. As down as I am on Urban and all that, that is the perfect place for him. For him to have UCLA and Lincoln Riley at USC. But here's why I'm convinced that Urban will not take that job. They're going to the Big Ten. You think he's going to take what he has? If they remained in the Pac-12, you could make the case that it's a 12, it's a 2, maybe a 3 or 4 team conference with Utah and with Oregon. But when he's got to go back to Columbus and he's got to go to Ann Arbor and he's got to go to Penn State and he's got to go to Sparty,
Wisconsin.
and he knows it's going to take him a while to get his guys into Los Angeles, I don't think he would. I expect talk, but I don't think it will happen for that very reason.
And it's if you're Herb, do you want to rebuild a program? That's going to take a while. I don't know. I don't know what he wants to do.
Mm-hmm. And I wouldn't go to Nebraska either. That's a Big Ten job.
And that's a terrible job.
Well,
that rebuild is.
See,
at least in L.A., you have access to California kids. Like in Nebraska,
the thing that's hurting Nebraska is weather, and what in the hell do you do in Nebraska? Honestly,
and
Bruce Springsteen sang about it, and his whole message during the song was about a serial killer.
Oh, I haven't.
All right, from Lincoln, Nebraska.
And
all right?
If you're 18, that means you're born in 2004 or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know. You think it's a joke that Nebraska was good.
Oh.
You never were even close to
Bud
seeing
Wilkinson
good
era?
Nebraska. Not even Eric Crouch, Nebraska. These guys didn't even see that.
Eric, yeah. Oh, by the way, it was Tim Couch who was married to Heather Kozar. We talk about it. You found that.
Mm-hmm.
I told you I went to the Eric Crouch double overtime game at Notre Dame Stadium in 2000. It was either 2000 or 2001. It was I'd been there for the game of the century, Florida State and Notre Dame in '93. Then when I started working in Chicago, I went over with one of my producers, Dominic Shigeru, and Notre Dame was going through a difficult time.
2000.
It was 2000.
The year before they went to the national title.
Yep. And they were on the outs. And I want to tell you something. Nebraska bought half of those tickets. There were 40,000 Big Red Nebraska fans inside Notre Dame Stadium. Because I remember the 93 game. And Florida State might have had 5,000 seats or 7,500. I talk about it often. My brother and I pulled into Chicago, flew in, drove to South Bend, slept in our rental car and in a parking lot, but bought tickets for $300 a pop, 45-yard line seats. Hey, $300 a pop
back then,
back in 1993, was an expensive ticket.
Absolutely.
Okay, but they sold out, and they had another 20,000 in the parking lot looking for tickets. I think Nebraska has the greatest college football fans. Period. Wait, it's not even an argument. I know some people give me Ohio State to me it's Nebraska. And people don't they're all from Nebraska. That's the crazy thing about it. I mean, people go to Columbus. Their job takes them there, or, these other schools down here in the Deep South. People want to move here. Look at all the people that keep moving into our state. Now, I can say that now because I've been here since 1987.
You're one of us.
Yes, I am. But people aren't like, hey, man, let's move to Lincoln. No, people don't move to Lincoln. You're born in Nebraska, and for one reason or another, you just become a huge fan. All right, when we come back, we got something on the Jags I want to ask you. I do. I'm going to get a little personal with you. Okay, I think it's something that we need to explore. That's coming up next on the Jaguars right here on your home of the first place Jaguars.
He sees things you just might miss when you watch the game, and he tells you about it every Tuesday.
4 guys missed a tackle.
Jeff Lyman checks the tape for you on Jaguars Today, brought to you by Famous Automotive Tire and Quick Lube, treating every customer like they're famous.
With the first pick in the 2022 draft, the Jacksonville Jaguars select Duck Duck Rooter, the best plumbing and septic company in Florida.
Congratulations, Duck Duck Rooter. So tell us, how does it feel to be picked number 1?
Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing and Septic Services is excited to announce we're a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When you need help tackling any type of plumbing or septic issue, call our team of first-round draft picks for the win. DuckDuckRooter.com. That's DuckDuckRooter.com.
So I'm here with Danny Van Sickle, Director of the Electrical Training Alliance. Danny, tell me about your program.
Hey, Rick, we're a 5-year electrical apprenticeship. Our students start out making over $30,000 a year and right now graduate making over $80,000 a year, including benefits. There is no tuition and no student debt. You just have to apply and get accepted.
Did you say no tuition and no student debt?
You heard that right, Rick. Once you're accepted into the program, your only costs are the books and the course fees, around $700 a year.
Wow, that sounds like an amazing opportunity. How can I learn more?
Just go to etajax.org and you can apply there.
Googans, do you suffer with neck or back pain? My friend Dr. Alan Nathans at Disc Centers of America on Bay Meadows Road helps people diagnosed with bulging, herniated, and degenerated discs, sciatica, or stenosis. Dr. Nathans uses that DRX 9000 non-surgical spinal decompression table to gently unbulge and unherniate discs that are causing sciatica. Don't do another cortisone injection. Stay active and healthy as you get older. Dancing at 50, golf at 60, the river run at 70. Yes, yes, and yes. DrNathans.com.
Join us for Operation New Uniforms Heroes Gala with guest speaker Colonel Alan West at the Sawgrass Marriott, Saturday, December 3rd. ONU helps veterans develop skills to translate their talents and backgrounds into business.
Greetings, I'm Lieutenant Colonel Alan West, and I'm excited to join Operation New Uniform as we celebrate our heroes at the 9th Annual Heroes Gala, December the 3rd.
For sponsorships and tickets, call 904-328-1600 or go to onuvets.org.
Duval, it's time to Q-Vol. Q Barbecue Fest Jacksonville returns to TIAA Bank Field November 19th and 20th with beer, bands, barbecue, and more. Don't miss this chance to grab an ice-cold brew and sample pure smoked bliss from more than 9 award-winning pitmasters cooking up 30,000 pounds of meat. Fun for the whole family with general admission grounds passes and all-you-can-eat VIP pit passes. Parking is free. Tickets and info at QBBQJacksonville.com.
Let's fire up the flavor and ignite those appetites. Let's slow down and smell the barbecue. Because all your favorites are smoked for hours and ready for eating when you are. From our famous ribs to slow smoked pork. Enjoy some perfection by the plateful, safely in our dining room or in the comfort of your home. With curbside pickup, drive-through, and delivery. Sonny's Barbecue. Local pitmasters since '68.
Hey Gator Nation, Joe C. here. We'll be live at the T-Mobile store in the Yonk off US 1 and 312 this Friday with a chance to win tickets to the Gator home game against the LSU Tigers. It's the T-Mobile Ticket Tour, and we'll be giving away Gator ticket prize packs filled with, of course, tickets, hospitality, parking, $100 in gas, and food provided by our awesome barbecue friends over at Sonny's Barbecue. Come on by, say hello, and meet the crew. Put your name in for the Gator football game day prize pack. It's the T-Mobile Ticket Tour with XL Primetime.
It's all about Gainesville when former Gator Chris Doring joins the drill. Wednesdays at 8:15 on 1010XL. Brought to you by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000.
Brackish Vodka, part of the Brackish brands, is made right here in Jacksonville.
100% from corn and gluten-free. It's the local answer to Tito's. Brackish Vodka is the proud partner of Growlers Bar at Tailgaters, and we will be pouring free samples of our local vodka, as well as selling merch at each home game. Brackish brands are for those who live life slightly salty. And once you try Brackish Vodka, you'll be slightly salty too. You've never had vodka this smooth. Buy Brackish at any Shores Liquor. See you on game day.
Hey Jags fans, Brian Sexton for Dreamfinders Homes. In a complex housing market, do decisions on the biggest purchase of your life stress you out? At Dreamfinders Homes, they can build a home of your dreams in one of their many communities in Northeast Florida. With a mortgage company in-house, they're here to assist you throughout the entire process. Choose from their wide range of single-family homes or townhomes from the 300,000s. Dreamfinders Homes specializes in homes built to fit your lifestyle. Call 904-590-2545 or visit dreamfindershomes.com.
Hello, Jacksonville. This is Greg McGarity, President and CEO of Gator Bowl Sports. The Tax Slayer Gator Bowl game and events have been a Jacksonville staple for more than 75 years. We support more than 4,200 local youth annually through Gator Bowl charities. Gator Bowl Sports is a perfect way for local companies and individuals to get involved. We'd love to meet with you and talk about how you can join our team. If you'd like to learn more, contact us at 798-1700, 798-1700.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, got a lot of reaction from you on the text line on Dion. 5348 says, hey, Ballou, I wonder if prime time is waiting on his alma mater and the job to open. Go Noles. I don't think there's any doubt. Okay. But I'll tell you this. I would much rather have it work right now with Mike Norvell. Don't feel like starting over again. Deion Sanders, in my opinion, is not qualified to be a coach at Florida State. He's not qualified to be a coach at Georgia Tech. He hasn't earned it yet. What he's done is he's an incredible self-promoter. And no matter where he goes, because he's going to get a big-time job. He's going to get that opportunity. You have to provide him with the money to get the best possible staff that he can. If he takes one of these premier jobs, and I'm a fan of that school, I don't want to hear about the buddy movement, okay? No, I want to hear that he's going out and that whatever school it is, they're spending the most amount of money of any college program to get the best offensive and the best defensive coordinator money can buy. Because Deion Sanders is going to become the face of the school, and he's going to help out in so many ways, particularly with the NIL. That is what is really going to take off for him. But we don't know how great of a game day coach he is. And look at even the great ones. Look at Kirby Smart's first year. Look at Nick Saban. I remember Nick Saban rolling in here to Jacksonville. Bobby Bowden in Florida State beat him. What did Brando tell us? What they was the University of Louisiana Monroe? Okay, you know he struggled. I guess Urban would be the exception to the rule. It took Spurrier a little bit of time to get things going. Jimbo Fisher, I think, went to the ACC championship game in his first year, but I think he lost 4 games at Florida State. So, you know, just to expect a coach to show up and for everything to work immediately, no, it doesn't work that way. Right? It's not working that way for Brian Kelly at LSU. It certainly feels like it's only a matter of time until Lincoln Riley loses a game at USC. We've seen
almost happened last weekend,
right? We've seen the struggles at Notre Dame. That's my thought on that when it comes to Deion. I hope it works with Norvell. I've always said that if it falls apart and he was to lose the job, I think there's 3 men to look at: Deion Sanders, Lane Kiffin. It's only a matter of time before Lane Kiffin gets a top 5, top 6, top 7 blue blood job. I mean, I think you can only go so far at Mississippi. I just believe it. I mean, consistently year in, year out, what are they? Third, fourth best team in the West. I've been telling you people forever that Jimbo Fisher is never going to win at Texas A&M. Texas A&M is a runt of the litter, okay? Texas A&M is one of those when you're hauling in all these bass, and you're like, honey, we're going to have a great dinner. Look at this. And then all of a sudden you pull in a little kiver, right? And it's a little throwback fish. That's Texas A&M. They're a throwback fish. They're never going to win. Jimbo's going to leave that program, okay? There's only a few schools that have what it takes to be winners. This state is 3 of them. That's it. It's never going to happen with South Florida. It's never going to happen with Central Florida. No, this state has it. The Deep South has it. Outside of the Deep South, you go north of us, what do you have? Notre Dame, Ohio State, Michigan. That's it. All right? Soon to join them, Oklahoma and Texas. And even mentioning Texas is a little bit of a stretch. They've been in, 2 title games in the last 22 years? They won it with Vince Young. They lost it with Colt McCoy. I still think Texas has the resources to get back someday. And then really to the left of us, honestly, there's only one school, and that's USC. Every other one of those schools is just like Texas A&M, and they're a throwback. If you ever catch Oregon, throw it back. Okay? If you ever catch Oklahoma State, throw it back. TCU, the Horny Frogs, throw it back.
Utah,
throw it back. Oregon, how many times have we heard of? Oregon is the bridesmaid. Oregon is the one who catches the bouquet every Saturday at the wedding, but here's the deal. No one's going to walk Oregon down the aisle. It's just not going to happen, okay? Oregon's a throwback. And I feel bad in a way, but that's where we are in college football. You look at the NFL. Every single year, one of the teams who finished last in their division finishes first. Case in point this year, we're only 3 games in, your Jacksonville Jaguars. 14 teams in the playoffs a year ago, 6 of which didn't make it the year prior to that. During that season, 2020 season, we had been part of a long-term process of 12 teams making the playoffs year in, year out. It's unbelievable. Every year, 6 of the 12 teams did make the playoffs who didn't make the playoffs the year prior. It's so consistent. The NFL is built that way. I mean, who in their right mind had Indianapolis knocking off Kansas City on Sunday? Seriously.
After not scoring a single point against the Jaguars.
I mean, who had after what the Titans had done and the Raiders so desperate for a win, who had the Titans knocking off the Raiders? There were people trying to hand the Lombardi Trophy to Buffalo after 2 weeks of football. Who had Miami knocking off Buffalo? They were a 6-point road favorite. And even our game right here, I get the feeling that around here, pleasantly surprised, sure, that's fine. But across the nation, look at the shock value that Jacksonville has provided the NFL after what they did last week, 24-0 to the Colts, and what they just did in Los Angeles by knocking off the Chargers 38-10. Nobody saw that coming. That's what's great about the NFL. The Bengals, 2 years ago, last place team. The Bengals last year went to the Super Bowl. You can get that, but you're not going to get that in college football. All those pretenders are throwbacks. They never win them. One of the most amazing statistics that is available right now. The last 2 teams to win a national title for the first time, historically speaking, in college football. You know the answer. I think we've talked about it before.
Is it Florida in 96 and I don't know. I'm not sure.
The last two teams to win the national title first, Florida in 96, Florida State in 93.
Wow.
No one.
That's crazy.
Think about that for a moment. I mean, again, for every Va-Tech, for every Oregon, for every Wisconsin, for every Oklahoma State, for every Texas A&M, I mean, you can go through all of these schools. No.
Pretenders.
They are. The way that college football was built with 131 Division I teams, we're basically in a scenario where only about a dozen teams can win. Nebraska can come back someday. Miami can come back someday. Florida's going to come back. Florida State's going to come back. LSU, Auburn, they're going to come back. Clemson. Look how long it took Clemson and Georgia.
80s, early.
It took
80s.
them 40 years.
But they did come back.
It took them 40 years. It's amazing. And right now, I mean, Georgia's the king. Yeah, I think we're heading into it. I mean, I'm not going out on a limb here, but I think it's pretty crystal clear that we're going into another season where they're going to meet in Atlanta, then they're going to turn around again and probably meet in either the semis or for the national title. That's one of the reasons why I really want the college football expansion. I do think, even though I have that opinion, we're still going to have some upsets. It's still going to happen. You have to go out and play the game on the field. But if you track recent history, I mean, you just go from, the 80s on. What were the only surprises? Tech in 91, the University of Washington in 91, or did they split it that? No, did they split it with?
Colorado.
I know there was splits. You had Colorado, you had Miami that split.
And then Michigan split in the late 90s.
97, I think it was with Nebraska.
I think LSU a couple years ago was a huge surprise. They'd been down for a little while.
Yeah. When I got to school in the late 80s, LSU with Jerry DiNardo, and even before that, yeah, they were down a little bit.
They were good in the early 2000s with Saban and Les, but then they kind of disappeared for a while. Not disappeared, but they weren't national title contenders. And then Burrow and that offense blowing everybody out of the water, to me, that was a surprise. But still,
and that team might have beaten any of them. Out of all these great teams, that team might have won it.
I think they're top 5 greatest college football team I've ever seen. Absolutely.
Look
Maybe
at
top
this.
3.
Just to go in reverse order because I know we forget. I got to hit this break. Defending national titles. All right. I'm just going to go by year, beginning with Georgia, who just won it in 2021. Georgia, Alabama, LSU, Clemson, Alabama, Clemson, Alabama, Ohio State, Florida State, Alabama, Auburn, Alabama, Florida, LSU, Florida, Texas, Southern Cal, LSU, Southern Cal, Ohio State, Miami, Oklahoma, Florida State. I mean, that's what you have. That's where we're at.
So Oklahoma's got, what, 2 in that period?
Yeah, Oklahoma's got one in 2000 when they beat Florida State in Miami. God, that was a terrible game.
Should have been us.
It should have been you, I'll agree. And
would have been a totally different game.
Well, Mark Rick was on his way to Georgia, and Snoop Minnis flunked out. And Chris Wenke was on the, he was on the buffet circuit, winning the Heisman and all that crap. But Oklahoma had a lot of success, in the 50s.
Oh, yeah.
And then they won a ton of titles.
But did they win in the mid-2000s, right?
I think they lost all those games.
Oh, did they?
No, they haven't won since 2000.
Okay. I guess, yeah, they would see that their quarterbacks won the Heisman and then lost in the national championship.
Well,
right? That was like a yearly thing for them.
The year that Bama beat Georgia in the national title game, that semifinal between Georgia and Oklahoma is one of the greatest college football games I've ever seen. Baker Mayfield
Rose Bowl game.
It was like a
phenomenal.
It was like a 51-45 game.
And Chubb and Michel going back and forth with them.
It was
an awesome game.
It was one of the greatest games I've ever seen. Yeah, but Oklahoma has not won a title. since the year 2000. All right, let's put our final touches on this one. Tomorrow night, 6 to 8. Thursday night, 6 to 8. Again, we will not be with you at Mr. Chubby's in Ponte Vedra because of everything that is going on here with the hurricane. Friday as well, from 6 until 8, right here on your home of the Jags.
Here's Linda Beaver.
Hey, school's in session, and here's today's lesson. We have hundreds of certified vehicles to choose from, starting as low as $89.99, and they come with a 7-year, 100,000-mile peace of mind warranty. That means it'll still be under warranty when you can drive. Plus, every purchase allows us to fund teachers' projects the entire school year. Your next assignment, get to Beaver Toyota in St. Augustine or Beaver Chevrolet in Jacksonville. Your deadline is September 30th. We're here to wow you and our teachers.
Drivers and heavy truck mechanics, if you like sports, then you're going to love working at Waste Management.
We have a team atmosphere here where we're looking out for one another. We jump in to help out.
Listen up. WM is now offering a $5,000 new hire bonus to CDL drivers and heavy truck mechanics for jobs at our sites in Jacksonville, Green Cove Springs, Callahan, and St. Augustine.
It's camaraderie. It's everything. I like it.
Steady work, competitive pay, weekly paychecks, opportunities for overtime, paid training, and a generous boot and tool allowance.
Plus, over-the-top benefits like 100% tuition coverage for you and your family, and home every day.
CDL drivers and heavy truck mechanics. Apply online at WM.com/careers. That's WM.com/careers. Search driver and mechanic jobs in Jacksonville, Green Cove Springs, Callahan, and St. Augustine, Florida.
A people-first, military-friendly, equal opportunity employer. We are WM.
Here's another remarkable success story from QC Kinetics. This one from Chad, who hurt his knee at the gym one day, and it just kept on hurting for months.
From my high school football and wrestling days, I already had a little bit of damage in there, but this just sent it over the edge.
Chad tried traditional treatments with no improvement when he turned to the non-surgical regenerative treatments at QC Kinetics.
It was really fascinating how they did their work, and the science behind it was very intriguing, and it works. Extracting the cure out of my own body blew my mind. It's like I'm brand new again. It was fantastic.
That's because the QC Kinetics natural biologic treatments use your body's own healing power to restore damaged tissue in your hips, shoulders, back, and knees, providing long-lasting relief.
Now I'm back at the gym. I'm 100%, feeling great.
If you're tired of suffering with pain from arthritis or injury, call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 904-274-5522. That's 904-274-5522. 904-274-5522.
Attention sports fans, your favorite sportsbook, BetUS.com, is back for our 28th year of NFL action. With the industry's biggest sign-up bonus of up to 200%, BetUS offers our members the chance to cash in on all of your favorite leagues, including the NFL, NBA, MLB, and more. We've also got hundreds of new casino games, including the coolest European slots, and our live dealers are waiting for you at the tables. Sign up at BetUS.com or call 1-800-79-BETUS and get into the action. Don't forget to mention promo code RADIO. BetUS, where the game begins.
Josh Scobie here to tell you about Eastern Roofing Company. Are you in the process of selling your home and are being required by home inspectors or an insurance company to replace your roof? The team at Eastern Roofing is here to get the job done. They can get your roof done fast with no money paid until the sale of your home. Don't miss out on a sale because of your problems with your roof. Call Eastern Roofing today at 775-ROOF or visit easternroofing.com. Eastern Roofing Company. Service with integrity.
Every day you hear interesting and insightful conversations from national names on the Farah and Farah phone line.
I insist on complete honesty. If you have something to say to me, I wish you would just say it.
Brought to you by the accident attorneys at Farah and Farah on 1010XL.
This is Hayes Carlion for Kingfish Pest Control, a local family-owned business that specializes in pest, termites, mosquito, and rodent prevention. I tell you what, when I got my new home, I had to put on my reporter's hat, find out who really is the best, and it turns out there's no competition. Kingfish provides exceptional service and treats me like a valued customer, not just an account. That's why I wholeheartedly recommend Kingfish Pest Control, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Does your home or building need painting? For over 20 years, Performance Painting has had the privilege of preserving many of Jacksonville's most prominent buildings. That said, we feel like we're just getting started. I'm Jason Parker, and our team thrives on preparing, protecting, and preserving the homes, businesses, and public buildings that make up our local landscape. Contact us today to put our years of experience to work for you. Performance Painting, Prepare, protect, preserve.
Performance Painting. Homeowners, hurricane season can be a disaster, but I had Ken Lawler and his team at Fifth Element adjusting to help me get my roof replaced through my property insurance. Ken, how does this work?
Well, Jeff, if you have a denied or underpaid claim, an aging roof, or maybe received a non-renewal letter from your insurance carrier, call us. All this is free if we do not recover any money for your insurance claim. Call Fifth Element Adjusting or visit feaclaims.com. If you're happy with the outcome of your claim, Fifth Element Adjusting will not be able to help you. Ken Lawler, DFS number P213199.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, we've seen some firings already this year in college football. Nebraska, Arizona State, Georgia Tech. I believe that's it. Am I missing anyone?
Nope.
Next up to get fired, according to BetUs.com, Carl Durrell. Just talked about him, Colorado. UCLA rolled them a week ago. Of course, Durrell back in the day was also the head coach of the UCLA Bruins. And it's down to Auburn, Brian Harsin, David Shaw at Stanford. Wow. I mean, I think of the jobs that David Shaw could have had, mentioned forever. And then right here, Jeff Scott, South Florida. Had Florida on the ropes 2 Saturdays
People swear that David Shaw turned down like NFL games.
Oh, I know. Oh, absolutely.
And if that's the case, wow, that's bad.
He turned down some major jobs. Who was the old? Was it Pat Hill at Fresno State? He's another one that turned down.
Ain't ever.
He's 70 now. Pat Hill.
He
was the head coach. He's been out of football since 2013. He was the Falcons' offensive line coach for 2 years. He was at Fresno State from 1997 to 2011. And he turned down some major jobs. Final thoughts before we get ready for tomorrow night's program. First things first, have you seen the odds move up in the AFC South now for the Jaguars?
What is it?
They're now up to plus 200. I mean, they were plus 550, then they went to 375. Right now, within the division, Indy's plus 110. If you don't know what that means, you throw around $100, you get back 110 if you take Indy, so you get back 210. You throw in $100 on Jacksonville, you're getting back 200 plus 100, 300 plus 200 to the dollar. It's dropping. Again, it was 330 and 375 recently.
To start the season, though, it was 8-1.
Oh, I know.
So it was like plus 800, plus 700.
Right. Tennessee behind them, plus 275. Also, Rookie of the Year candidates. Jacksonville's got 2 in the top 4. Devin Lloyd right now is 6-1. You put $100 on Devin Lloyd to win the Rookie of the Year, you're going to make back $600. Okay, plus your 100. That'd be 7. Trayvon Walker, 12-1. If Trayvon Walker wins the Defensive Rookie of the Year, and you lay down $100 on Trayvon Walker, you're going to get back 12-1.
Wow, so Devin they think will win before Trayvon. Interesting.
Yeah. He's putting up some.
Yeah, I guess if you get an interception every single game.
Trayvon was sick, too. Did you see that one play when he came back? No, dropping coverage, yeah, but when he blitzed, and it wasn't a stunt. It was off the left edge, and the offensive line on this particular play did a decent enough job to hold him up. And it was actually a nicely run screen by Herbert.
I remember that.
And Walker turned around and chased, I think it was Eckler that he chased down.
He's a freak, man. And he gets the edge, forces guys out to the edge so many. He's just in great position. Like, he's unblockable, man. And this guy doesn't even know how to pass rush yet. So the future is very bright.
Yeah, that was a huge surprise to me. I mean, just his football instincts and the fact that he doesn't take plays off. He's going 100% the entire time. That was very comforting to see. Final note before we go say goodbye. Mario Edwards Jr. Was picked up by someone off the practice squad. Can't remember who it was. So the Jaguars did make a transaction today. They went ahead and he actually went to the Tennessee Titans. Did Mario Edwards Jr. So the Jaguars today went out and signed defensive tackle Nick Thurman to their practice squad. He had been with New England and played his college football at Houston. Also, the Jaguars brought in a couple of kickers today. Rodrigo Blankenship and Sam Frickin both worked out for the Jaguars today. That's it, folks, for JJ. My name is Rick Ballou. We're with you tomorrow, Thursday and Friday, 6 to 8. Hacker Nation coming up right now.